Hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia, and Azalea. Hi. And Marty. And we are Greengirlstudios, and we are streaming live from Asheville, North Carolina. Hello, friends. Hello. Oh, that cat. He's already busy doing something. How's everybody been? Today we had a good day. At least I had a good day. We had Azalea did a lot of grown-up work for getting her teeth organized. And I went and took a bike ride and worked on stuff for today. It was pretty good. We have perfect weather. That's why people like Asheville, because it was like 72 degrees today, middle of the fall.
Although wide tongue.
He is that cat. Hello, my friends. You guys want to give me a shout out? Let me know if the internet looks good or if you can hear us, because I've been having trouble with my internet all day on my phone. And I did I turned it on and off, so we'll see. I don't see any comments coming in. Can you check that, little daughter? Right now I'm doing a double duty. I'm watching the comments and also adding. Right Oh, hello, Karen.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, so I'm putting freight check on a piece of cord. So as you might have seen from our posts, we have a big crafty coming up. It's in the first weekend in December. And then the next weekend, we have the Holiday show, which is in Johnson City. Some of these haven't been to it, so I don't know. I don't remember. I should have written it down before I did that. Zoe, bring it up on your phone or something so we can give them the fact. Oh, the phone is being used. Use your iPad.
What am I looking up?
The dates for Holiday and Big Crafty, just so everyone knows that's coming up. I've been making jewelry, making earrings. Joanna came over the other day and we made earrings. It's pretty peaceful. If you've ever done that, it's a nice way to spend the day. We were talking about having a get together, and we're going to take our earring kits to the Biltmore and sit in the greenhouse area. They have a really beautiful greenhouse, and there's little nooks where you can set up. And sometimes she takes me. There's a certain time that you can go. I don't know what the winter hours are, but during the summer, after 4.
Here, can you pass me the remote?
Can you guys hear that? Azalea's not a fan.
Please, faster.
She's like, faster.
Taking 30. Why is he getting another snack back to back? How many snacks does he need?
Well, it was compulsion. He was looking at me through. I could see
Wow.
when I looked up at myself, he was really making eye contact with me. And so I know it's supposed to be the treat. What's cute is we have box lights that we set up so it's not so dark in here. And when it's time, he starts jumping up here. I mean, he jumps up here every day, but he does this, sits up and makes himself handsome. It's pretty cute. Hello, Wendy. Hello. Hello, Abby. Hello, Michelle. I see Cherie. Hello, my friends. Thank you all for joining us. And I see Debbie. So far, so good. Thank you. Thank you for checking. And Karen said, hello, everyone. Everything looks great. That's good news, because sometimes you just never know what's going to be the case.
The Big Crafties on the 6th and 7th.
6th and 7th of December. Cecilia. Hello, Cecilia. Hello, everyone. Just got home. Nice. I hope everyone had a nice day today, real peaceful.
Are we doing the Holiday that's in Johnson City?
That's the Holiday. Our friend Brian Saraway.
That's the 13th.
That's the 13th. And is it a one-day? Is that correct?
Looks like
it's a one-day show. Downtown Johnson City. They were supposed to close Main Street and have tents. We were going to all do tents, and they couldn't get the permit. I read the email and I was like, so what are we going to do? But they managed to secure this pavilion that's in downtown Johnson City. I haven't been there, so I don't know what they're talking about. But from the pictures, it looks nice. And the best part is I don't have to set up a tent. If you've ever had to set up a tent, it's not that hard, but it's just another thing to do. that you got to get there a little early and you got to set it up and struggle with, pulling the ceiling of the tent nice and taut. Oh, Nurse says, looks good. Got some wire wrap going. Oh, nice. And Wendy says, dang, I'll be in Wisconsin. Definitely a bonus. Not that to set a tent. And Sheree says, and you get a snack, and you get a snack. Oprah style. And you get a snack. I like that. I would love that part. Wendy says, he definitely is a circus bear cat. He's tired right now. He's been busy doing stuff. Being active. Being so active. So that's what we have coming up. That's why we've been crushing it with making finished things. And that's been a good time. So let's flip this camera. We have a nice group, y'all. Just 5-6 minutes we're in. Let's do some things. Let's make some stuff. Let's make a necklace together. On Sunday we had what did we do? We did the ribbon necklace from the D-Stash event that we had on Friday. That seems like I don't know. That was a week ago. It kind of throws your days off. So I measure my time between a Wednesday and a Sunday. And I did one on Friday, and I was like, the Sunday felt like a Wednesday. It had my whole week was all kind of goofy. Oh, I see. Connie says, howdy, our friend Connie. Connie, are you going to be doing the show? So if you do come to town, I will let you know that the same weekend, there's also an Uncommon Market. I don't know if Connie's going to be at that one, but it's also downtown. So if you were to visit, I believe Saturday or Sunday, because I think there's always shows and things happening, but it seems like Saturday would be the time, maybe midday, so you could, hit all of them, because it's fun. It's fun looking around and seeing. There might even be an outdoor one at the park that's downtown. Oh, Connie said, yes, Uncommon. Same weekend of December 6th and 7th. First weekend. Should be a good time. I hope I have time. I don't even know why I said this, but I thought, maybe I'll have time to walk over and say hi. No, I probably won't have. I rarely have time the first day of the big crafty because it's usually wall-to-wall people. And I like that, so don't think that that's a complaint. All right, I'm going to flip this. We're going to flip this around. I think I did show. Switching phones. I'm going to get a new phone thing. I don't know what you call it. A phone grabber. So we're switching gears here. All right, perfect. In focus, check. Oh, I see morphing designs. Hello, hello. And Debbie, I didn't see that comment. Wish I lived near you so I could go to the show. Debbie, it's a fun show. And Wendy says, oh, I got my double dip Pearl Lucky Dip, and it is fabulous. Thank you. I was looking at it the other day, and I have misplaced a whole tray of my beads. So that's not fun for me. But, sometimes that happens. Oh, anyway, I wanted to show this one last time. We have, I think, six of this left. That's all that's left of this. And when it's done, it's done. I mean, I have some of the beads, but I won't have amassed this because I threw in some of it because it was a D-Stash. I put everything I had of certain crystals, different kinds of crystals in. I made a lot of use, got a lot of use out of them in the 90s and so in the early 2000s. But I haven't really gotten a chance to use many of them. I think I'm a person that I love going in cycles. So for a long time, I taught classes on this at Bead and Button. Y'all probably recognize this from the 90s style. Silk ribbon works really good. Oh, I see a comment from Wendy says, I want to put it in a bowl and run my fingers through it. Yes. Debbie said, nice board. This I got on Etsy. There's a gal that I think, you know what? I feel like this is the one that's out of Germany. I don't remember. Let me see if it's marked. It's not marked. I thought it might have been. I have a couple of them that are from different brands. I love having nice tools to work with. And we're not going to use this one tonight, although it would work. But, oh, Zoe's got these over here. I did want to show real quick what it looked like. And we did, what was it, 10, what was in that amount, Azalea? Oh, sorry, this thing, did I knock it with my elbow?
In which one?
For the crystal one.
20 grams.
Oh, let's do it real quick. We'll do one. We have a couple that I have to fill, so I'll do one or two of them now because I wanted to show. I had a comment from someone asking if this latest gemstone, and I haven't worked with it yet, except for, did we work with it? I don't think we did. The newest one. Boy, that cap is on there. Oh, you know what? I was like, boy, that cap is on there tight. I'd already taken the cap off.
Okay.
Dang. Actually, I'm going to move this over just because, extra flat. And I'm going to scoop it out enough for 20 grams just so you guys get a little sense of what's going into this one.
This first one is for Nicole Egan.
So this is for Nicole. We're just going to do a couple of them just to get it out of the way because we had some questions. How do they look when they're scooped? Did I zero it? Let me do it again. Zero. We'll just scoop it like this. It's kind of fun. It might make sense if I had a bigger scooper. Maybe I'll get a bigger one. Hey, where's that bigger scooper?
I don't have it. It's going to be over there with you.
Oh, I have so many scoopers. The choices. Too many choices. I like this bulldoze one too. I'll get the bigger one. Actually, I found the small because it's cute. Sherry says, can you pour that out so I can roll around and all that goodness? I think it'll be sharp. Pamela Ferryman says, Cynthia, I made my first crocheted necklace and it came out pretty good thanks to your workshop. Awesome news. I love that story.
Very nice.
Nilda says, hi, Cynthia Niza. Nice to see you. Hi, Nilda. Debbie says, that is so beautiful. Need the shovel. I'm getting a shovel. I have a shovel scooper that I like. But one of the things is I want to make sure each person, and listen, it's kind of fun to do this. I'm not going to lie. So I don't mind giving it the thorough mix right before I scoop. So this one's for Nicole, you say?
Mm-hmm.
So we put 20 grams in, and it's a good mix of, let me take some of those big ones out. And if I take any of the big ones out, I usually take out what looks like the cheaper beads, just because, it's nice to have a little bit of the fancy stuff. Not that I'm, yeah, there you go. There's one. Check it out. That's what you get in there. So we have some of the special coated. You guys recognize these from the good times, the glory days of Austrian crystals. And there's Czech glass and a little bit of Chinese. So it's probably all the small bicones are Austrian crystals. Some of the big ovals, rondelles, like these guys, are the ones that they're kind of watercolory looking. Those are the Chinese glass. That, not to say that they're not good. They're all good. It just, some are higher quality. It's just like with anything. The Austrian glass, the reason they're prized is because they have, the colors are just, the colors, number one, are more subtle. They're more sharp as far as the faceting. So, good times. Okay, let me pass that over. That one's for Nicole. We have a couple to do. I'm waiting right now. I'm doing this as a little tiny bit of filler just so that I can let the first layer of this dry. We've seen me do this a million times, but if you haven't, I'll go through it one more time. But I wanted to make sure this was nice and stiff, so we weren't messing around too long with this. So this is micro nylon. You can use silk. People have asked if you can use cotton, hemp, Kevlar. What else is there? Polyester. If the beads fit, then you can use this technique. You
list silk?
Silk is first thing people use, but be aware, silk will stretch. So you can pre-stretch it. That's what we used to do, is like you'd stretch as much as you could. But it's still going to stretch. So keep that in mind. All right, so this is the freight check. I love this. Some folks use, I think there was another product. I don't remember what it was. It was another type of glue. There's another glue. I don't use it because it's not as hard as this gets. This gets really firm when it's dry. And I believe the Fabri-Tac also, it's not as firm, but the reason you want it to be firm is you want it to make it into a needle. So I use about this much, and this is of course beige. I was like, I want to do something that matched that. I should have got the gray, but I already started this, so let's just finish it out. And I put a dollop right in the center of this plastic bag. This will save your fingers. I usually will just use my fingers, but since I'm multitasking, I want to keep them pretty tidy. So you just drag it through and then hang it off the edge of the table. And do it without getting it on your pants. That's another key thing. Every time I hear that sax go off, I mean, she doesn't mind, in the Lost Boys, that dude really hammers away at the saxophone. She doesn't seem to mind that. But,
Oh, well, I don't know what you mean. You don't know.
Like that when he's gyrating with the saxophone in Lost Boys?
It's not for me.
Oh, pass me another. Do we have one more? Let's do it.
I'm not. How would I pass you one? You
Oh.
have to do it.
Oh,
Liz
okay.
5.
Oh, Liz. Morphing Design says Maker's Magic, but I prefer Freight Check. Same. Oh, Morphing Design says love your bracelet, so fun to make. This one, Alice made the Alice How. Alice, if you're out there, sometimes Alice pops in. I think she usually pops in on a Friday, or on a Sunday. I mean, this is the Tila beads. I was thinking about doing. Oh, I was talking so much that this thing zeroed out or turned off. And I just remembered it. My friend was like, hey, do you want to order some of these in gemstone? Because I really wanted them in gemstone. But I think I might have missed my window. You know how it is. It's pretty fun. Get some smalls in there. Yeah, look at that. So pretty. This one has pretty delightful. Nice. Enjoy that. You guys let me know what I try to avoid getting on Facebook just in general, but I do get on the groups. That's my thing, is the groups. I like that. Oh, Wendy says one of my favorite bracelets. Never wanted to get Tila beads until I saw those. Yeah, it's the quarter size, I think. Or no, that's the half size. The quarter size are even smaller. I've been working on a clasp for Tila beads that will do a single thickness run this way, so the two holes are run vertically or horizontally around the wrist. And I love how fluid they are. But listen, there's some gemstone ones. Is there another one? One more?
Did you scoop Liz
Yeah.
5? Okay, and then Patricia Graham.
Oh, okay. So
It's
we'll do a couple. We're not
every
gonna do a ton of them.
It's like they can't make any of this music without doing that.
I don't know.
It's like, what genre do I have to avoid, guys?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, this is fun. I will say, and it looks pretty. People can't resist it. Let me see. I think I only need a little bit in this. I had game night the other night, and no one could resist looking at them. They're like, "Can I touch it?" And I was like, "You can't touch them." And then I would laugh and be like, "Yes, you can. Just JK, you totally touch them."
Well,
it was nice they asked. My friends just dig into my stuff. They're like, "Hey, is this?" Because sometimes things might be sticky too. That's a possibility. Like the paint's not dry. All right, that one's done. All right, so let's move on to.
You don't want to do any more?
Oh, how many more? Is there like one or two more?
If you just scoop Patricia, and I don't know where you put it here. Okay. Then the next one, there's a couple more. There's
all right,
4
I'll get them
more.
done fast.
You want to do 4 more?
Oh, 4.
Because that's the only ones that are left of all the orders.
we do want to do, I want to show this. I'm waiting for this to be, while we're doing this, I'm waiting for this to dry. It's not quite, you can see how it's kind of limp, and then we'll move on to the next project.
All right, next is Wendy Klein.
And the reason I measure this, in case you're wondering, is so that I can measure this bowl, and then we divide it by how many will fill this amount.
It makes
So
it the easiest so we know how many to list on the
That's the
website.
thing, is if you don't know how many to list, boy, that is just goofiness.
Like, I mean, we used to, when we made kits before, we would have to count everything out and make sure that from like each type of bead, it would have a certain amount in each kit. Next is Michelle Vignalt. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry. But yeah, we have to do the weight.
Yeah, that way I know how many I can get out of each. Otherwise, it's also hard to price it. I will say that, because usually what you can do is say, how much I spent on that? And then you can divide it out. But if you don't know how much is in there, then weight-wise, it makes it hard to even guess. So anyway, I'm going to get some of these. Oh, thank you, Morphing Designs. It says, waiting excitedly for my orders. They are in the mail system, just taking their time and sightseeing.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully not sightseeing too long.
Okay, next is Cecilia.
Oh, Cecilia, this one's for you. Yeah, this is a fun one. I feel like you could get, I make earrings, and it's one of the things that makes it easy to, if you have a craft booth or if you do craft shows, and let me get one of those. Yeah, you can get a million earrings out of that, or at least 10, at least minimum. Okay, Karen says my last two are coming by Pony Express. Yeah.
Last one is Wendy Hawkins.
Oh, awesome. Wendy Hawkins. And then we will go to, I think that'll be dry, and then we'll move on to making a Lucky Dip crochet necklace with the bigger beads. Now, this is a little bit different look. You've seen me do it many times with the fine Lucky Dip, but it's also, I have a silicone pad, so these don't roll too far, in case you're like, what is she doing? Perfect. Wendy says, I just got my dragon pendant and mermaid buttons and so glad I pre-ordered. Yes. All right, perfect. Thank you, daughter.
Yep, that's the last one.
That's the last one. And this is what's left. So if you're interested, this is probably maybe 6, 7 of that left. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. That's one of the reasons we like to pre-order or count them first. Ish. I mean, you know, I don't do it exactly down to the bead just because it's kind of a nuisance. But and this is, I love this scraper. Look at this. This makes it easy. My little bulldozer. You get all of them. Okay, the next thing.
Yeah, I've been hearing about some people's stuff taking a long time.
Yeah, my stuff has been too. I don't know, things that I've ordered.
Guys.
Bonnie says, hi friends, just joining in. And Wendy says, I was telling Edward how cool it was to see the whole process of making those. Yes. All right. Yeah, you guys did like the whole process of the wax, from the wax to the metal. That was a lot. Oh boy, this is maybe All right, so I'm going to scoop myself a little dish of this. This is Persephone's Gift or Persephone's Gifts, and it's based on the mythology story of Persephone in Hades and how she was captured and how she ate 6 pomegranate seeds, and that bound her to the underworld for 6 months. And during that time, her mom, Demeter, decided, well, you know what? If my daughter, my lovely daughter, is not going to be with me, then it's going to be a winter wonderland and nobody's going to have a good time. So that's how the Greeks came up with some of the seasons of winter and summer. So when she's home, then there's summer. But while she's underground, she gets all the fruits of the underworld, which is stones and diamonds and rocks and such.
Doesn't sound like a bad gig.
No, it doesn't really. I mean, it's all good. I wouldn't mind, plucking up some sapphires and such. Bonnie says, I'm waiting for a dip, but I have never gotten it within a reasonable time. It does seem like there's always a little bit of a wait. And I will say this, if you order with pewter, just keep in mind that most of the pewter is made to order.
All of it's made to order.
Oh, all of it's
No, there's no most.
Sometimes
it's all
we
made
have
to
some of
order.
it done. Sometimes, very rarely.
If we have like back stock, which is not common because
I need a flat plate.
Us making things to order, make sure that we don't make stuff that's not going to sell and waste materials and time.
Can you give me a bowl that's like one of those ones, kind of
Using up
shallow?
all the bowls. There's other bowls on the table.
Shallow metal, small, that fit this, because it's just too much in this. It's too casting a shadow. If you order pewter, that's what these have to be made, and it's a process. It's not like one day, it's several days. And if one thing out of the process is not there, say we are missing like sunshine fluid. So if you don't have sunshine fluid, then you have to, it's one of those things that removes all the oxidation. So that's one of the things that will slow the whole gang down. So if you order pewter with it, just keep that in mind. There's a little hair. Marty's hair just floated in there. I'm going to do it just so it looks full and pretty. So anyway, this is the mix, Persephone's Gifts. Oh, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. We made friends with our mailman. I'll ask him about that. It's one of the things that we can discuss. I'm going to move this over. This should be, so this is the nylon, should be nice and stiff. And I figured we could just chit-chat. I'm making one of these guys, Get in there close. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You're going to be distracted. You're going to be so distracted. Wendy wants to finish the fall necklace, and these are going to be coming, so it'll be fun to see what everybody makes. I'm excited. These are crystals. We'll put those back in. Bonus with Marty hair. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that's different. So this is real strong stuff. I've got a necklace on now that I made with this is a mix of both. So I used part of the fine Lucky Dip, which is the smaller ones. I'm out of that blend. And here's the thing. Sometimes, even though I might be able to get the beads in the future, some things are like fashion. The cuts come and go. You might not get it again, but there'll be something, there's always more treasures out there. But if you like a certain color palette or look, just get it. It's like, sometimes I think about these carved tourmalines that were pink, and I got one strand, and I was like, why didn't I get why didn't I get the other one? There were 2 left, and and that's the trouble. Now, if you ask me, I get it, so then I can have extras. But then I use about this much of strand, and I don't want to say hoard, but this has been good for my lucky dips. I will say that because that means you have a lot to work with. You have a fine palette. So if you mix and match, like this is mix and match with 2 different sizes, and you can see the difference, right? These are the fine guys, fine, small, from the fine Lucky Dip. These are the bigger ones. That was also in. It's kind of part of this. So what you want to do, depending on how you feel, is after you've got your thread prepared, I want 2 rounds with a fray check, and it's nice and stiff. You want to get your little scissors out. Oops, sorry. Bonnie says it's so fun to see what you get. I like it, but the bulk of this kit has a lot of zircon. I picked out a ton of it this time because I'm a fan. Love it. So one of the things that I like to do, and I don't know if other people do this. Let me move it over. Is I make piles. Does anyone else do this? I just make piles of stuff. Let me get in there tight. There. That seems like that's nice and close. What do y'all think? Does that seem close enough? And you know what's been good? We did a giveaway pretty frequently back in before we switched from StreamYard. And now we've been doing a giveaway, but we've been picking from the comments section and just randomly, we'll pick a number and then go down the comments section, and where it lies, that's someone gets a prize. Unless I will say this, if it's one that we've already picked for within a few weeks, then we pick another person. But we'll just ask for if you want to get the shipping. That's it.
Or I just add it to an existing order.
Yeah, or it gets added to an existing order. So I just picked up aquamarine. There's some really nice tourmaline, and they get on there real nicely, easily, because some of these have really good big holes, Wendy. So, every time I say that, even when you're not around, I say that. Ask Azalea if I don't, because it's truth. I could have probably gotten away with a thicker cord. Let me just see. I'm going to experiment and look. I have a thicker cord here. We'll just look and see what that looks like. Is this one done? Oh, it is. Yes. So I put these thread minders. They're silicone. You can get them on Amazon, or if you don't want to do that, you can use a fabric place.
I thought Bead Shop sold some.
I don't think so. I looked. I didn't see them on Bead Shop. So some of these beads, see, this is thick. This is the thickest of the nylon, and I got that. There's some really delightful rutilated quartz with black rutiles going through it. Real nice. And let's see if these pink spinels fit. No, or maybe. Let me see. Some of them have nicely sized, but that would be something if that fit on there. Although I bet you could, because look at this tourmaline. It has a massive hole. But I will say this is extremely chunky thick. So this would actually work, some of them. Now, something like this, I doubt it. I very seriously doubt you'd be able to get that tiny little peridot. I'll just try it. I can't even see the hole, really, with this color next to it. No. But it'll fit this one. So, anyway, you can try. You know what? That's kind of fun to have, is if it doesn't fit one, maybe it'll fit the other. If there's ways to speed up the process, that's pretty nice. Although I will say that this process, to me, is very relaxing. And I'm going right now, I am not really checking out the colors. I'm just going by what I'm picking up and feeling like grabbing. All of the colors in this, I feel like work together pretty well. I just picked up another, this one is a type of, it needs to be trimmed again. Sometimes they can kind of fray out. So that's why I make that needle pretty long. So you can cut it at an angle and cut it many times. So I don't usually, I don't have a pattern necessarily on this one. Oh, there. Let's see what I have. Let's move this one out of the way so we get a fresh view of what's happening. Washi tape. Wendy says, I really do need a drink. Just got home from the crazy baby factory. I could see that. Washi tape. You know, Bonnie says, I just use washi tape. I'm trying to imagine how that makes. Washi tape is a very thin tape from Japan. And it seems like it has kind of not that much stickiness to it. And a lot of people used it. That seems kind of big. I'm going to save some of the smaller, this for some of the smaller pieces, I think. This is what I have going. Oh, I need to go to this next level, first level.
Just how big would you go for a crochet necklace?
How big? Like this one, look how big this is. These are fitting just fine. And maybe what I'll do is I'll do some of them on this side and see what happens, just to be experimental and different. You never know what's going to happen. Love it when, don't you just, gosh, the dopamine rush when you have a great big thick crochet here or nylon cord, and then that stuff goes right through. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. These are really pretty. This is a really super faceted. They call it micro faceted citrine, and it's a nice color. Although right at the tip of the, it didn't want to go in there, so maybe the next one will fit. I know these guys won't. I've used them before. I know they have a really small one. For this, they would fit everything else, but some things just won't. You know, some things are just not made that will go through there. Now, if it bends, you'll probably have to trim it, and that happens when you get something that you're trying to push it through, and the end hits that part where it's not quite drilled through, which I hate when I come to that when I'm drilling stones in the gem club. We were just there. We have a field trip coming up. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but on Sunday, I am thinking about going to, during the day, we get up at 7 a.m. to meet. And, oh, wow, if this grandidierite gets in there, I'm going to be happy. That's grandidierite just fit. That's how big the hole on that. How delicious is this business? Good. Holds the thread from unwinding in your box. Thank you, Bonnie. Oh, it's only slightly sticky. I see. That's a good idea. Pretty smart.
What is it they use it for?
Keeping the thread from going all over.
Oh.
Pretty smart. I love it when we get a good new tip. So I'm putting some of the bigger holes. If they have a big hole, then I'm putting it on the thick stuff on this side. So with 2 necklaces going. That way, if one is too small, I can just switch fingers. Oh, yes. Pink spinel, that's on there, and that's natural. I used the light on it, and I'm going to show it again. Some of that stuff you can test it. Y'all saw it before. Well, we tested it. So these are big holes, see? And you can see the difference. You can see how there's a slight, and by slight I mean it's like double the width. So if you have some that are small, let's see if this one, it's a pretty big hole on that. Nicely. Stay there. But the cord, as you can see, the cord will change the look of your piece. So it's dark here, and your necklace will have a nice dark, kind of more like, you know, this guy here. The thinner one or the lighter color, I feel like gives it a kind of a fairy, ethereal, real bright quality. And you know what? I've sold many of those for weddings, especially in like a pale blue, like the bride will wear, you know, like, oh, I'm going to have a beach wedding. That's the perfect time for these guys. That's zircon. This is some of that zircon I was talking about. It comes in a range of colors, And it's not the same thing as the lab grown. The lab grown is trying to create it that looks like this. It's a hard stone. It comes in like natural champagne diamond colors, browns and tan and beige. It's real pretty. I like it because it's kind of like a dupe for champagne diamonds. And look how pretty this is coming out already. I love it. Bonnie says, I love zircon. Me too. I do love it. Wendy says, dang it, I got to work Sunday. Work keeps getting into the way of my fun. You know, there's a field trip. It's going to Lake Douglas, but you have to be a member. So maybe you could be a member. It's 2 hours away, but you know what we're going to hunt for? We're hunting Herkimer diamonds. Even though they're usually in the town of Herkimer, New York, our guide, Tim, is going to show us where to find Herkimer diamonds near in the lake. And he says you find them in the mud. And I like that story. So he said, bring rubber boots. So,
an excuse for you to play in the mud.
Exactly so. And these Herkimer diamonds, they're double terminated. Check this business out. Look at this. This is why I love them. Look at that. With room to spare. Yes. Well drilled. Let's put some of these small drilled Andalusia. I think that's a good time for those. I will say that I like to put them where it's not too big of a jump. So if I'm going to put this guy, I'll lead up to it. So it's more of a gradual, but I don't always do it. There isn't really a standing rule that says you have to do that. So you kind of just put them where you want. And as you can see, I'm cooking pretty fast with this. I just started this maybe 15 minutes ago, and I feel like it's really coming along pretty quick. I feel like this one's a big hole, so I'll switch over. This little container here, or this bead board that I got on Etsy was pretty good. I like it. It's nice, and this is for bracelets. So you could actually, if you have those round beads, that's what fits in this, but they kind of make small. Oh, Wendy says, got a video it. Yeah. I don't know if Azalea will come with me. She's deliberating. She wants to get up early.
Deliberating, yeah.
Deliberating. She wants to go hunting.
Thinking about how long it will take in the day.
Mm-hmm. It's a long day because then we have to do the live too at night. So I might do a live during the day and share if I can get an internet access. You never know if you're going to get access or not. I will be delighted if these emeralds have a big giant hole and it. Oh yeah, that looks like it does. Now, if you get to the point where it kind of wants to squeeze through, and only part of it is peeking, you can get these little pliers, the teeny ones. I don't see my wubbers over here. Wubbers makes a little bitty pair.
Do you need needle nose?
They're real. No, I'm determined I'm going to fit it. So if you're at this point and it's peeking, you can see it and you think it might go through. You don't want to break your beads. So if you can get that, and if it feels like it's going to go through, then do it. But otherwise, you might break it if you force it. But, oh, yes, that was delightful. It's good times. But, see, it kind of smashes it. So you have to go over. Otherwise, it won't fit in the other ones. So you just cut it at an angle, nice and sharp. Now, you can get away with as many or as few beads on these crochet necklaces, depending on how many stitches you put between. I like more than this. This would make kind of a sparse necklace, but depends on how the look you're looking for. I'm going to switch over. What is this one? This looks like a big one. That rutilated quartz is, that's got a really small hole on that side. Mess around with that. This is a nice size. Tourmaline. Some of them were in kind of foggy colors. I like it. Very mysterious. Oh, this one may go on another. But I do want to do a video. That seems like a fun prospect. Now, I have often, instead, like usually I will use the whole thing to make a necklace, and I think that's fun. But you can do shorter amounts, and that's also good where you do a bracelet. and it's not super long. You don't have to make it super long. You can do this much and be done with it. And then maybe even use with chain. That's natural emerald right there, that little bit. Isn't that pretty? That's natural, not dyed. Morphing Design says, are you wanting to slug in the mud and dig around, Azalea? It's time with Mom. What about your cutie patootie? He can join and increase the fun.
He would never do that.
No. He would be hunched on Azalea's back.
Yep, on my shoulders.
Not even think. He would be like, no, where's the
Front
basket?
and back toes gripping.
Where's the basket? Sometimes he doesn't want to get his feet dirty.
So I have to carry him in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
He's Princesa a little bit.
Mm-hmm, a little bit.
But he's a teddy bear, so it's okay.
Yeah, he is a teddy bear. I have some of these Tunduru gem gravel. That's a rounded off stone. They're bright colors, but they're rounded. This is aquamarine. Isn't that delicious? You can tell by the hard sparkle. Sometimes if it's a soft sparkle, then and it's not real, it's kind of cloudy. Maybe you can check and see if it's actually kyanite. Sometimes that can be the stone. But this one should be either tourmaline or sapphire. That's the blue. And aquamarine, that's this kind of clear blue. This solid blue, this is Larimar. And it's faceted. I hung on to that. I was like, I love me some Larimar. Especially when it has a lot of personality. Sometimes you get it's kind of bleached out looking. That to me is kind of boring. So I like it when it has a little bit of texture and color.
Yeah, it sucks when you get a piece of Larimar off a strand and it just
and it's all white.
Full white.
Ugh, no. Pink opal. I have a pink opal piece. These little faceted pink opals. My friend just got me the Hank when she was traveling in India. She traveled there, I think, 50 times.
Jeez.
Oh, Morphing Design said, no, not the furry cutie. The other cutie. Boyfriend cutie.
Boyfriend?
Isn't he going to be around? Make him hold my shovel.
Oh my God, put him in some freaking boots and have him carrying around our stuff.
Like a good idea.
Oh man.
Like this guy seems like I would like to see him haul my stuff for me in a wagon. That sounds good, actually.
Whoa.
Hold my shovel. Hold this. Hold that.
Carry it. See, you remember how it was at the retreat when all those little old ladies were like having to haul their stuff out, but then he was loading up their cars for them.
Azalea's boyfriend showed up at the yarn retreat, and I don't know. It was funny. He came sauntering down the sidewalk wearing a very well-cut Italian wool coat, and it flapped out behind him, and his hair picked up in the breeze. And I locked eyes with Sarah, and that's his mom, and we both smirked at each other because I was like, what's this? So why is she watching so hard?
I was not.
You were watching hard.
Dang.
And then she's like, look at him with his really nice Italian jacket. And
I was bullying a little bit.
She was doing a little tiny. She was doing that a little bit. It's pretty cute.
Oh.
Look how pretty that looks. You know what? I didn't do as much of different shapes, but look how pretty that is. Wendy says, isn't that what guys are for?
Yes. You are correct.
Ooh la la.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's right. Listen, y'all, I had a good time tormenting lovely daughter. It was good times for me. And by tormenting, I mean just gentle and sweet teasing. Just a little bit. Just a tiny touch of it. It was good times. This citrine is kind of peachy. Check it out. Not pretty. It's like water clear, but there's a tiny... It's not a yellow citrine. It's more of a peachy... I don't know, but whatever kind of citrine. It's very, very sparkly. I love it. I'd almost wonder if it weren't so big, like largy, I would say, is that zircon? But it's not. Usually zircon's not that big. So, if you know stones, that's how it goes, somehow how it works, then you can already tell some things are not going to be what you want. Like some things just only get so large unless it's lab grown. Sometimes things are lab grown, but I tell you if there's lab grown in this. There's lab grown and there's CZs. I forgot. There's a few CZs in that mix of the, what did we call that? Crystal Kingdom? Crystal Cave?
Yeah.
That has some CZ drops that I used for, and you know what? It's so funny. I bought like 7 strands from my friend Laura, and I ended up using them for my book and then sold some earrings, and then I moved on. Sometimes that's how it goes with me. Sometimes I'm like a butterfly with it, and I like certain beads, but I always return to sapphires and labradorite and ruby. Oh, our friend Ann Gardan. Hello, hello. And we're working with Persephone's Gifts. This is the Lucky Dip from a couple, maybe a week and a half during the TGBE. Some of y'all are waiting on it, and thank you for waiting and being understanding that if you order pewter or something we have to make, then that affects shipping times. I'm going to switch on to this side. It seems like it's brighter over here. I'm dealing with shadows, y'all. The height of this is giving a lot of shadow. Maybe you can put it in a little bit of a shallower bowl. I like this bowl. It's for, I got it online for, it was like a wholesale Japanese restaurant equipment supply. And they had these, and I was like, what? And I had a whole sake set. I love it. That's a little less shadowy, a little clearer, if you will. We are making, with some of this is the thick nylon, Ceylon, Eslon, and coated at the end with fray check, if you're just not joining us, like our friend Ann. And you've made these before, Ann. So what I'm doing is I'm going through this. I put a little scoop here, and it's kind of random. It is random. I'm going to scoop another little scooch. And I'm taking the big hole ones and putting them on this super thick and showing how nice of a hole size. So we get a good plenty. I'm making as many necklaces as I can. We have 2 big craft shows coming up that will tide us through the winter months. The winter, like for most retail businesses, is the dry time. Like after everybody gets Christmas presents, it's super dry. So the name of the game for all businesses that sell stuff is sell as much as you can before then. That's the thing. So then you're not scrabbling around mid-January when it's, like, that's what you see a lot of sales too. And that's why. It's because it's classically, ever since I've been in business, this is not a new thing. So it's just the way it is, like how cycles are with business, and you prep for that. So that's what I'm doing now, is I am making as many necklaces and many gift type things. Usually people, they don't want to make stuff for, like, at this point, just because it seems like, I don't know, like that. There's so many deals, that they want to just buy it. I mean, I'm the same way, ish. Actually, no, I buy a lot of like fabric. I'll buy fabric and yarn. That peridot, there's peridot in here. There's 2, actually there's 3 cuts of different kind of peridot. This one is really just marvelously microfaceted. I'm into it. I hardly believe it how much I like it. So, when I'm really cranking them, if I'm really working hard, I'll have several going. But I try not to do, if I have a couple going, I don't usually have like the threads going, too many of them. Because if you have too many, guess what? You can get tangled up. So 2 is a pretty good, having them like laid out like this is pretty good. Bonnie says, have you heard of Pachymer quartz? I recently got some and it has a goldish light brown color. I wonder if that's the same type as this quartz that we're going to see on Sunday. The samples I saw were like this color and Andalusite color, but more, if you can picture it with more, there was like a mica type sheen. And some of it was kind of orangey blush pink. It looked good. I liked it. I can't wait to find some. I told Joanne, I said, listen, you're gonna go with me, so you probably have to figure in some more time because I am lucky. And she started laughing. I said, no, seriously, I find stuff. Ask Azalea. That's like my thing is pattern recognition. I find stones. I find, like, if I'm out hunting for shells, I find them.
Nice.
It's true. True story. They'll get ready to find things unless, of course, we don't. In which case, it's still fun because we're having a good time. But I find things. When we went I found so many garnets when we were in Franklin and kyanites. Remember when we went to that creek and it was, I don't know whose birthday, but it was good times. One of you guys picked it for your birthday. Maybe me. Might be my birthday. Oh, my birthday is coming up.
The 21st.
Yes, I will be 51. Isn't that weird?
That is epic.
Time flies. Now I'm cooking with gas. Now, if you want, you think we should, is that enough? Usually I like to make them where there's like this much in between. Sometimes I'll make them, depending on how many stitches you put between each guide, will determine, if you want to make it long or short. So the more beads you string, the more options. Oh, I see. Morphing Design says it's what some refer to as Herkimer, but mined mainly in Pakistan or other places. Oh, right. Yeah, there are some of the stuff from Pakistan I find has there's little black rutiles, or and there's some, I have had Herkimer diamond that they said, had mica, because mica is all over the world, and that's usually what's in there. If you have the black rutiles, like this is rutilated quartz, but they're black. Usually the black means it's black tourmaline. And that's good. Black tourmaline is one of those good ones that's known to, they say, chase the crazy away. I don't know how true that is, but, people operate, we all vibrate, not like openly, but it's the energy in our bodies, so how can a stone not affect us? There's some things I'm getting to where I 100% believe it, just from my own experiences. I'm going to put that on there. I'm like, this one's going to fit. I know it. But maybe no, I don't want to force it. I want to force it because I only have the look. I have to redo it, and I don't feel like doing it right now. So I'm going to save that one for further down the line. Nice. So this is the thick one. Has less beads. Oops. This thing that I'm using is not my favorite. I have an old one until I upgraded, and then I broke it because I was too aggressive with it. You can't be aggressive with photo equipment, that's for sure. This is so delicious. This is Hessamite garnet. Isn't that pretty? This is a type. The pink type of garnet is rhodolite. You can see the difference. It comes in a bunch of different colors. Green is like a sap color, or like a sap or a green or sap gold color. This one is also a garnet, but you can see it's a little bit different. I love how the different variations of garnet. I actually got a box in Tucson. They're just specimens. They weren't They weren't for use of. They weren't beads, so they just sit in my collection. I like to look at them, so it's fine. But they have a sheen on them that's like they look just like if you've ever seen like Tampa Bay coral or Mexican fire agate. They have a green sheen that goes right across the top, and it's really beautiful. But they're real fragile, so they just kind of break apart. So I just leave them in the viewing container, ready for when I want to look at them next. More of that zircon. I'm pretty crazy about it. It looks just like the color of champagne diamonds. I bought some champagne diamonds in the cube. They're in my wedding necklace that my friend Laura made for me. And they're that kind of gray color. Gray and gold and silvery. They're pretty ethereal. Really beautiful. That's two of them there. You can see that. If you're wondering, if you get the Lucky Dip and you're like, what is that? And they're microfaceted. That's the zircon. And it comes in those beautiful beige, gold, champagne colors. I hope it did not. I hate that story of Abby says, I'm a little worried my triple dip of Persephone got lost in the mail. Sometimes, listen, there's a lot of weirdness going on. This time of year is known to be draggy because there's a ton of things being shipped. Our friend Derek, who's our mailman, was saying he's been run off his feet. So,
Well, yeah, for the season.
it's the season. Everybody's sending cards and like, just nice. It's like there's a trend now too of these kits that people do where you can solve a mystery. I really like them. We got one that was Cthulhu, and you know what? We got right to the end, and we still haven't opened the crate. We're right at the end, and it's been like 2 years, and we're waiting for all of us to be in the same room so we can do it. It's like
Nobody remembers it.
nobody remembers it until I see it sitting there under, and then I'm like, maybe we should do this, and then I forget about it again until I see it again.
Constant loop.
It's a constant loop. Maybe I should put it where I will see it and act on the thought of when I see it. It's sitting on the stairway. There's like, I don't know about anybody else, but there's always stuff to be going up and down the stairs. And there's moonstone. I just looked at some mini moonstone. They're really beautifully faceted, really clear. Sapphires. That's sapphire right there. And ruby right there. A little bit of something special, something delicious. I love gemstones, as you guys can probably hear it radiating out of my voice. It's my favorite thing is working with these guys. There's probably someone should do a study about how it working with gemstones lowers your cortisol, stress, and everything else, but raises your dopamine and serotonin. And that's nice. You see, they're pretty easy to strand. The small ones, there's a good mix. They're like the one size up from some of the mini Lucky Dip, and the like 4 millimeter, pretty good for this thicker. So you can do both. Wendy says, and I'm only 3 hours away from them. Is that the Lake Douglas? If you didn't have to work, I'd say, Wendy, let's go. But then you'd have to sign up to being a member of that Hendersonville branch, which probably wouldn't be bad, be good times. I love going to Gem Club. I haven't been able to for the last couple of weeks because I've been prepping so hard. Oh, I haven't put an opal on there. I wonder if this opal has a big enough hole. Here, let's get some of that. I just noticed a bunch of opals in this. I added a bunch of extra. I was trying to lure folks into getting another like dip or so just because I'm trying to pay off some things. Mostly the kitchen. That's what I've been saving for. We've got the fixings for the flooring and the subfloor. We just need cabinets or to pay for the cabinets. And what we're doing is saving up, and then when we're on a waiting list, basically. And if you're wondering, why is there such a long waiting list? Well, we got struck by a hurricane last year, and the damage was so great that people are still working on their homes. A lot of businesses are not affected, but there's a lot of small home improvements that folks are making with porches and basements and things that had damage. So people are coming up to work from South Carolina and Tennessee. There's that much work. Or so I've heard. We have friends that are in construction. And we've asked, we're like, hey, so is that something you could work on for us? And they're like, well, we're kind of backed up. So we're just waiting. And plus, we're raising money. So it's not just the wait, it's also kind of good, you know? All right. Actually, I've been sitting here stringing, not really thinking about how long this is. Let's see. This is pretty long. Nice if you have a built-in ruler. All right. Looks like I have how many inches of this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're about 7.5, almost 8. I like that amount. You can crochet them. We'll put this here. And let's see if I'll do any more with this. This is, when you have the thick thread, I feel like you can get away with less beads. I'm not sure why that is. It just looks more full and more finished. You could stretch this out into 2 necklaces if you put a gap that's wider between each bead. You know, it depends on what you want it to look like. In theory and in practice, you can put 1 stitch and that will change the texture. It'll be really dense in stones, and then you can spread them out, kind of give your eyes, especially if there's something special. Like this one is watermelon tourmaline, and I kind of wanted to draw attention. And usually what I'll do is I'll add maybe a little bit more space, almost like wall space in a gallery. You know, you're showcasing a painting, and then your eye will pause on it, like, why is that showcased? That's the reason. And it's kind of a, you know, the kind of the trick for that. All right, let me see. Let's do a little bit of, let's just do some. It's already at the 1 hour mark, but I will show some of it. Did you drop that link again, lovely daughter, or should I do it?
Paste.
Oh, all right. And again, this is, I have.
Wait, that might be for the Crystal Cave.
All right, you go and hunt that for me. That's Crystal Cave. So the Persephone's gift will fit both sizes of this thick. Get 2 kind of sizes here. I think it looks pretty good. Let's do this one. I'm curious how it's going to look. I could make a bracelet if it feels too sparse, and then I can use it. So you don't, if you want to make samples, it's kind of the same way as knitting, where you make a swatch. You could do the same thing and attach it to another piece, or just make a small bracelet. Okay, so let me show that again. The laptop was aimed in another direction, so let me show it again. So you just make this sort of overhand knot to start. All right, this is easier to see. And you just start making some stitches. So if you use a thin needle like this one, sometimes it can be kind of weird because it can bite into the cord itself. So you kind of have to pay closer attention if you use a fine needle. And sometimes it can do one of those things where it pulls it like that. So you might want to get a little bit larger size. I'm being ultra careful, but I will switch later so I can get a little speed. And I feel like the thicker the thread, it's a little bit, you know, it's can be rough on this top of your finger. So go easy, or get yourself a piece of leather or something. Now note that I didn't cut. You don't cut anything with this method. There's no trimming or cutting yet. Oh, our friend June. Hello, June. We are working with Persephone's Gifts, the Lucky Dip. that's what I have in this tin here. And while we were working, we strung some on the fine. That's what that looks like. It looks really good, I feel like. And I didn't do a color palette patterning. I did a random pick. So again, you don't cut, just leave it. And you just make a bunch of stitches till you're ready to slide a bead down. Usually I give myself at least, I don't like to have it too close to the, to the clasp, to this part here. See how I leave it? And I do that so I have plenty of room to add my button. Yeah, Bonnie, I have to take a break. I can't do it all the time. So I will switch it out. And that's what I like to do. I'll switch between wire wrap. And I've been making these chain necklaces. Let me see, I'm wearing two. So we could peer at that. This is my current stack of what's on my necklace. Look how I did this. This is pretty fun. That's a piece we make. This is silver, but it can also be made. It's also in pewter. It can be made in that. So it's a little cuff, and it's holding, the fingers are together to hold a little piece of chain. And originally I was going to put a key, but this looks pretty too. It's like a Barbie hand, but it's not a Barbie hand. What number crochet needle do you prefer to use? And do you have a micro? And do you use micro or fine? Okay, so this is micro right here. This is micro. Fine. Is this fine? No, this is standard. Let me see. That's standard. So it's standard. Standard color. Not color, thickness. All right, let's wait till we get a bead happening. So this is a 1.25. I feel like this is too small for this cord, but when I get to this point, I'm being real loose with it, then pulling tight. If you try to be too fast, it can loop between the strands, and you don't want that. See, it comes off pretty easily, so you don't have to do that. And if you find that you're getting too weird of a tension, then go to the next size up. I just suffer through it, but you don't have to. You just go get another hook. Now you can decide if you want to capture the herkimer. I do that. I capture it so I've got a little on both sides. So to capture it, you put it like this and then come through. See, so it's divided up. Can you see that? All right, there we go. And tighten it up so it's not loosey-goosey. Now, if you have the thinner hook, this is where, see how this is? If it's too tight through here, it could fray it. So you just have to be mindful. But you don't have to switch. I mean, you can see me right here using this tiny little hook for this thick cord. And I'm not struggling. But I've made like 100 of these. So, and you can see I'm not just pulling from this, I'm holding it too, like the thread. Now, you can decide, hey, do I want to put another one here? Yeah, let's do that. And you can decide, do I want it on the front or the back or both sides get it? Sometimes I choose for both sides to get it, like this, to be right in the center. Because then it's kind of like it's knotted. Of course, all this information that I'm giving you right now, you can find it on our crochet workshop tutorial and more. I have how to dye the thread, how to pick stones, stone powers. It's 27 pages, I think. And there's photos to show some examples too. So, and troubleshooting. I've had no complaints, so that makes me filled with joy. When he says, you probably could make them half asleep. I probably could. Oh, Carolyn says, I got a USPS notice that my Persephone's dip will arrive Thursday. Okay, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, you can make them anywhere. And I also do another kind of crochet, tubular, and that's fun too. It's real fun. That I just backed up the truck, and you can do that too, where you pull it hard and then come out again. You pull it like that. It's like a rope. This is very thick. So that's the look you get with that. I think it looks good. It's a different vibe. Well, completely different vibe from my usual. Or well, they're all kind of my usual, but you can see the difference. One is miniature, right? See that? And that's why I was telling a friend of mine, they're like, which takes longer? This takes longer. The smaller one takes longer. Is anybody surprised? This amount of stitches is like this much right here. But it's bigger, so it's a little bit easier, I think. Even easier, faster if you get the a little bit bigger hook size. It won't bite the cord. Sometimes it'll get snagged. That's the only downside of using a. And see how I'm holding it where it's the size isn't even relevant. I don't think, because the action, the tightening is happening after I've gone through. But I will say the thicker is harder on your hands. So there's kind of, there's a downside to pretty much each technique, and there's an upside. So, it just depends on what bead sizes and bead hole sizes you have. I feel like the ones that I make on the thicker thread, I want to give my beads a little more space to breathe. Oh, I think it just looks better. But of course, you can have them coming in back to back to back. I mean, it's that also looks good. There is no real rule that says you can't do it. And I've made them also with seed beads. You don't have to use gemstones, or you can use whatever you want as long as the beads fit on the cord. Just to give you a little bit of a different look. And one other thing is, I have in the past made these where I used inks and things, and then that was after the fact, but you kind of have to microwave it. So that's only if you have crystals that you can microwave. I usually do that beforehand, so you don't have to worry about it. Oh, Wendy's leaving us. Oh, it is getting I didn't even notice the time. So I am going to also get on with this thing. Oh, and then Ann puts a Band-Aid. Ann, I didn't know you needed that. Listen, I've got a tool, and I'll send you one as soon as I get some made. I have a ring that protects this top of my finger, and I made it for this particular use. So I should make more of them. I've had people ask for it, but I don't know. I need to just write it down. Too many products. So there's the thick, y'all. I'm going to start wrapping this up just so we can go and eat and do something, right? What color is the heavier thread? This, I feel like, is a kind of a light olive. It looks good though, huh? I love it in this color. But my favorite one is this kind of rope. I like it when it looks like the Hawaiian. If you guys have seen Hawaiian necklaces, they have a way to wrap their cord, and it's really beautiful. And I have several necklaces that use it, and I want to learn how to do that, but it looks a tiny bit labor intensive to make tiny rope. Oops, I touched my thing there. All right. I said I was going to get off. That was 2 minutes ago, and I just kept going. All right, I'm going to put this down. Good look at it. I'll do another pass at this. You guys have seen me do the mini Ceylon many times, so that was fun to see what fit on what and the different potential. Again, this is the last of the Persephone's gifts. A lot of variety in that. A lot of beauty that I've been collecting for a lot of years. A good collection, probably 25 or 30 different types of stones. There's opal, This is just one scoop out of the big. I'll toss this back in. But yeah, if you're interested, I'm going to scoop myself and Azalea some, and then that will be the end of it. As soon as we sell the rest of it, we'll move on to our next dip. All right, let's see. Oh, what's happening here? I bought this at a craft show, and then I just noticed this thing's coming apart. Isn't that funny? Someone made that out of pins. Looked pretty cool, but it was starting to pull. Isn't that neat? Anyway, I don't know. I was like, I noticed it coming apart next to my hand. It actually rolled under my wheel or under my heel when I was driving, and I almost got an accident. It's like, what's happening? All right, I'm going to flip this camera. Ooh. All right, friends, look at that cat. He is so tired. He seems like he's ready to leg. He said, don't bother me, Mom. I'm busy sleeping. I'm busy sleeping. I wonder if he's too tired for a snack. Think he's too tired for a snack, friends?
His eyes cracked open as soon as you grabbed that bowl.
Know. Big expenses. Yeah, that's the same. Oh, the Celadon color works for a lot of color gems. I would agree with that. I love that color. Celadon, it's beautiful. Anything, I have one I really want to make a necklace. I have one that I planned for Joanne, and I haven't really used it yet. It's a bright vermilion. It's a really pretty color, but it seems like it'd be better suited to a monochromatic palette. Oh, your bow tie. Let's get it straightened up. It's sleepy baby. He's tired. He's been working hard all day. The little circus cat. Look how wide his tongue is. A little messy ear. And you can kind of see the blushing on his cheeks. Guess who's responsible for that? That would be this gal over here that's quietly working on the corset. Oh, my darling. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate everyone that tunes in and keeps us company on a Wednesday and Sunday night. Thank you so much. We love you out there, and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. We will see you on Sunday, maybe during the day, because if I have internet access, I'm going to show you all the crystals I'm finding over at Lake Douglas. We are going to have some fun digging those things up. Oh, Bonnie says, he's so adorable. He is. He's my darling. All right, my friends, we will see you on Sunday. Okay. Good night, friends.